Stop playing with them, fool.
Hi, I'm Nicola Cairncross. Welcome to my podcast. This is where we talk about entrepreneurship, digital marketing, being a digital nomad, and much, much more. I really hope you enjoy the show. Hi, Nicola Cairncross here, and welcome back to the podcast. Today I'm going to talk about something that's always interested me a lot for a very long time. And then I'm going to share the what's worked, what hasn't section of my output this week and see what you think of that. So I hope you enjoy it. So if I were to ask you what the most powerful energy humans could emit and detect, what would you say it was? I bet the answer will surprise you. Did you ever meet someone new and feel a shock of recognition? I have many times, and here are just a few examples. The first time my husband Irving walked across the road outside the Soho Brasserie in London, and I thought, oh yeah, he's different. Believe me, I'd dated a few guys via Time Out Lonely Hearts by then, so I knew. The first time I looked into my first baby Phoebe's eyes at 2 a.m. when she finally woke up for her first feed, there had been much poking and holding mirrors up to her nose all day before then, since she was born at 9:15 a.m. She looked at me, I looked at her, and I got the sense she was an old soul and she'd been here before. The first time I ever met Steve Watson, who was the manager of my favourite restaurant, the Pepper Tree. Although I was happily married, there was a real connection of energy and humour, and we worked together on the marketing of the restaurant. Steve was later to become the manager of my hotel, the Acacia, then a partner in my business, the Money Gym, and then eventually my life partner. The first time, new Money Gym client Judith Morgan walked down the hallway of my hotel, the Acacia, and Steve, hotel manager by then, and I looked at each other in mutual recognition of our Judith's energy. I asked ChatGPT about this sensation, and this is what it told me. The word recognition comes from the Latin recognitio, meaning a knowing again or acknowledgement. It combines again, and cognoscere, to know. This sensation can be incredibly strong and is rooted in the deep authenticity shared between individuals. When two people meet and their authentic energies align, it can create an overwhelming sense of familiarity and connection. That this recognition is not just about remembering someone, but feeling an intrinsic bond that transcends time and experience. Now that was ChatGPT. Hit the nail on the head there. Similarly, did you ever meet someone new and feel something's off? That gut instinct might be more profound than you think. A fascinating study called Spain, Scale of Positive and Negative Experience, sheds light on human energy and frequency, revealing surprising insights about what we emit to the world. We often think love is the most powerful frequency we emit. It's a common belief because love is such a strong emotion. But the Spain study shows that the most powerful frequency we put out isn't love, it's authenticity. This discovery is quite profound. It explains why we sometimes get gut feelings about people. Our bodies and minds emit this powerful energy, and when someone lacks authenticity, it triggers that gut instinct. That feeling you get when something isn't right about someone, it's tied to authenticity. Some people can mask their inauthenticity through manipulation, but eventually their true energy reveals itself. That is why, over time, we start to sense when someone isn't genuine. Authenticity, being the strongest frequency, eventually shines through all facades. Interestingly, this also explains why we feel instant positive connection with some people. When your authenticity aligns with someone else's, there is a natural positive connection. It's not just love or shared interests, it's a deeper alignment of genuine energy. Love, truth, and other emotions are roots to authenticity. Recognizing this can help us understand our interactions better. Here's some real-life examples of authenticity in business. Blake Mykoski, founder of Tom's Shoes. Blake Mykoski's authentic vision is to help children in need by providing shoes through his one-for-one business model, which resonated with millions. His genuine desire to make a difference helped Tom's become a globally recognized brand known for their social impact. Lisa Price, founder of Carol's Daughter. Lisa Price started her beauty product line in her kitchen, using recipes from her mother. Her authentic story of passion and dedication for natural ingredients attracted a loyal customer base. Price's authenticity shone through her products and brand, setting her apart in the beauty industry. Eric Wan, founder of Zoom. Eric One created Zoom out of a genuine frustration with existing video conferencing tools. His commitment to making communication easier and more effective resonated with users, especially during the pandemic. One's authentic mission to improve user experience made Zoom a household name. Practical action steps for you to take. 1. Share your journey. Don't be afraid to share the highs and lows of your entrepreneurial path. Authentic stories build stronger connections. 2. Be transparent. Honesty about your struggles and failures can be incredibly powerful. It makes you relatable and trustworthy. 3. Connect personality. Engage with your audience on a personal level. Share your values, passions, and what drives you. 4. Stay true to your voice. Don't try to imitate others. Your unique perspective and style are what make you stand out. 5. Incorporate your story into your brand. Make sure your story is reflected in your branding, marketing, and customer interactions. Some recommended reading for you. Start with Why by Simon Sinek. Understand the importance of knowing and communicating your purpose. 2. Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller. Learn how to clarify your message and connect with customers. And 3. The Art of Authenticity by Carissa Thacker. Discover how to be true to yourself while leading your business. Your story is one of your most valuable assets as an entrepreneur. Embrace it, share it, and let it guide your business journey. Authenticity can set you apart, build trust, and create a loyal community around your brand. Be real, be you, and watch your business thrive. So welcome to What's Worked, What Hasn't, and What's Changing, my weekly review of what I've been up to, which I hope will become incredibly interesting and informative for you if you're thinking about creating content for your business. And I've got a wide range of content. I've got a couple of podcasts. I've got a blog. I've got a second blog where the first podcast is hosted. So, I do quite a lot of stuff. I produce 3 blog posts a week for my ideal client. I share my podcasts, and I also do this live stream, which I'm hoping to become more regular. Every week I have to go through a little, what's the word I'm looking for? A little good stiff talking to myself about this live stream, because I think, oh God, am I sharing too much? Is it not very professional looking and all that rubbish? But I continue attracting clients, and I'm going to talk a bit about that through it. So I'm going to just crack on. What worked this week for me? It's been a brilliant week, actually. New podcast is taking off. We've got a podcast called Make It Make Sense, and this was someone I did a bit of work for, and we got on really well. We knew each other a bit beforehand, but the working together really went so well that we didn't want to sort of stop chatting afterwards. So we decided to have a weekly show called Make It Make Sense. Now, this is not for the faint-hearted. It's very much us discussing what's going on in the world with, honesty about how it's affecting us in various ways. So if you enjoy that kind of stuff, and we also do talk about business and marketing, because both of us are entrepreneurs and business people, and Matthew's starting to come more up to speed because he wants to market his, what's it called? It's called a self-catering cottage in the wilds of Cumbria, and it's absolutely beautiful. I have to tell you, it's called thegale.co.uk. So go and have a look if you're thinking of going to Cumbria. And Matthew and his wife Annette are very nice people indeed. So so that's working, talking about that. And we've had what we're on episode 3 now, plus the intro. And for the first couple of episodes, I ran some Google ads to it, because you can get incredibly cheap Google ads to videos. I know exactly how to do that. So if you're interested in boosting some of your videos, and the benefit of doing that is not because it's cheating, but because it tells that you're able to specify your audience. And that tells the Google, the YouTube, because of course YouTube is owned by Google. It tells the algorithm who your audience is. And on YouTube, it's all about the audience. It's not even about who subscribes or who watches, although watches do help. It's about the right people watching your videos. And so the sooner you can find your audience on YouTube, the better. And Google ads help in the early days. I'm actually thinking of running a few to some of my videos on my own channel, Nicola Cairncross, that didn't do as well as I thought they should have done, because I might be able to get them going. The other way to get you give new life to your videos is to change the thumbnail. And literally, YouTube have just introduced the ability to split test thumbnails. So I'm always uploading at least 2 thumbnails now. to see which one gets the best response. And that's a really nice feature because the thumbnail is a big part of what makes people click on the video, as is the title. So if you've got a video that you don't think has done as well as it could have done, and you don't want to, you like the thumbnail, say it's a branded thumbnail, and you don't really want to change your brand or change the look of it, go and change the title. It might just give it a little boom and get it going again. You never know. So that's good. What else is happening? Oh, I've rediscovered the joys of outsourcing. I've had a couple of things this week that I just came to a dead stop on. One was I'm learning to use a new software called make.com, which is like it's like the superpower big brother of Zapier. And it's a bit technical, and I came to a dead halt with it. I couldn't understand what I needed to do, even though I was watching a how-to video and stopping and starting it as I was going. Basically, I needed to find someone on Upwork who knew how to use make.com and who could fix what I was doing that wasn't working. And I did. I found someone incredibly cheaply in, can't remember where he is now. Egypt. He was in Egypt. And he did a really good job. It took a couple of days. I thought to myself, it won't take that long, but if you know what you're doing, but it did take that long. And he did a great job. He had brilliant English. He was very friendly to work with. It was really cool. And it only cost me a few pounds, which, really for my sanity and getting the job done, which I'll tell you about in a minute, was well worth the investment. The second thing I've outsourced this week is my analytics started telling me that I was getting absolutely zero visitors to my website, which, as I'm working quite hard on that at the moment in terms of adding content and making it look attractive, I was a bit beat off about, to say the least. So I went and found myself, I put a job on Fiverr and I put a job on Upwork to take a look at my analytics and tell me what was wrong, what needed fixing. And for 30 quid, because that was what I was willing to pay, I thought to myself, what's this worth? Just to tell me what's wrong with my analytics, 30 quid. And he did a really good job. He produced 4 reports for me, and he's produced 4 areas where I can improve things so that I don't screw up my search results. And so I've asked him for a quote to fix it, because I'm really not, I understand about robots, TXT files, but I don't want to get any more up close and personal with them than I am now. So, so that's a really good way of outsourcing little jobs that you don't want to do yourself or you don't know how to do yourself. What else happened? Oh God, I had such a good week last week with learning automation. I basically learned. What was happening was I was creating the blog posts on a Monday, the 3 that I put out, and then I was having the podcast was going out on Tuesday, and the what worked, what didn't video was going out on Thursday. So I was having something going out every day, and then on Saturday I would send the podcast to my mailing list, and on Sunday I would send a newsletter to my mailing list with links to everything that had been going on. And it was taking a long time every day to share onto all the social media. And I did try one of those automated things, what was I can't remember what I was using. Oh, Social Bee, I think it was. But it was really nice and it was really good. And it set up a sort of calendar. And I definitely noticed that the main thing I noticed was my profile views on LinkedIn were going up. Because I hadn't been sharing anything on LinkedIn, so anything I was sharing was a bonus, and so that was okay, but it was not cheap, and I didn't really like the way it looked. So it kept firing things onto Twitter in a format that didn't look great. It didn't include the picture, or it didn't include a link or whatever, and so it just wasn't doing the job. And I think it was also I was very cognizant of the fact that if you put something through one of these automation things to share your content on social media, the social media platform doesn't like it much. So you don't get as big a reach as you would if you put it up natively. So I was going through an experiment phase of putting stuff up natively, i.e. going to each platform, copying and pasting the content, and then adding a picture, the one that corresponded to the blog post or whatever, and putting it up manually. But the problem was, this is a problem whenever I go on social media, I got horribly distracted. So, basically I see and you are supposed to do a bit of social media interaction. So I was doing that first, because especially on LinkedIn, if you put your own stuff up and then interact with other people's stuff, it shows other people's stuff in your profile after your stuff. So that wasn't good. So you have to do your interaction and then put up your own stuff.
And what I was finding was I was getting so incredibly distracted with the interaction bit and writing replies to people and commenting on people's articles and things that I never got around to actually putting my own stuff up, and I ran out of time. So that wasn't great. So by using this automation, which is one of the ones I had to get the other guy to finish for me, but now I've got a template for it. I don't have to go anywhere near those social media platforms, so I can get on with creating stuff, which is the hardest bit. And that's what I'm doing right now, creating content. And it's the hardest bit to do later in the day, I find. It's much easier for me to do first thing in the morning. So yeah, it's costing me a cent a day to run all my social media onto all the platforms that I want it to go onto, which is just really unbelievable and brilliant. What else happened? Oh, yeah, the other thing was I watched, I'm really into AI at the moment, finding out what it can do for my business. In fact, I'm so much into it that I sat and asked ChatGPT the other day what else it could do for me. And so it asked me loads of questions about my business, and then it told me all the things that I could consider automating through AI. So if you're an entrepreneur, a time-strapped entrepreneur, you really need to be looking at AI. It has revolutionized the way I work. And I'm not guessing it to write books for me or anything like that, because I think you can tell when you read something whether it's AI generated or not. But what I am doing is getting it to generate structures for me so that I can. I've always said that creativity works better with a bit of structure. For example, mind mapping. That's a brilliant structure for creative people. I always liken it to, the New York skyscrapers that always go up, and they go up with steel frames on them. And then the guys that work on them, who generally were North American Indians, apparently, because they didn't have any fear of heights, they would actually attach like a rope, and they would swing out around the structures, the steel structures, to get the work done. And they'd run along the beams and things like that. So I always think of creativity needing a little bit of structure, just like the steel beams on those skyscrapers. But then the creativity comes when you're swinging out and you're taking leaps and you're doing daring stunts and things like that. So that's how I think of it. So I get AI to give me structures. For example, I had a new client inquiry this week, and it's a really exciting lady with a business that she's proved the concept on, and now she wants to take it online. And I'm absolutely the right person to work with, because I can take all the online business side and the marketing strategy offer, obviously talking to her at the same time, and she can go out and do the PR and marketing, which is the bit she's really good at. So, but she didn't come from my content creation, and I've been sitting thinking about that all week, because most of the smaller clients, and I don't mean that in a derogatory way at all, most of the smaller business people I work with they come through my content, and they come to the website and they see that there's a mentoring option and they can work with me, and there's 3 different ways to do that. But the bigger, sort of more spectacular clients, if you like, in that they tend to get much bigger results because they've got more established businesses. And that's what I mean when I say bigger. I just mean they've got bigger businesses that are more established. They come from referrals. And I was thinking about the people that have come like that and how they've come through referrals. And I think the referrals have come from people who watch what I do online. They might not necessarily be customers themselves or even ever become customers, but they are reading my blog posts, or they're listening to the podcast, or they're watching the videos, whether that's just out of curiosity or whether they just like my sparkling personality and wit, I don't know. Or whether they've just been around since the dawn of time when I started online very early, and perhaps they picked up on me, and they just sort of, I don't know. I've got no idea. Why do people like Roy and Chris follow me? I've got no idea. You can tell me, boys. You can tell me. So did I get distracted? Yes, I did. So my clients are the biggest, more spectacular clients aren't coming from watching my content creation, but the people who refer clients to me are. So that's quite an important realization. So it means that I have to structure my content so that the people who refer know who I work with, who I work best with, who I get best results for. That's got to be very obvious in my content. I've not got to structure my content so much for people who are not ever going to become clients, but who enjoy the entertainment factor. Although obviously I've got to carry on being entertaining, or nobody will watch. I'm tying myself up in knots here. You can see where my thought processes are going there, can't you? Something to mull on for the rest of the week. Okay, what else happened? Oh, so the new client inquiry, that was interesting because I really hate writing proposals, and each one has to be different, it has to be tailored to the client. But actually, the process I go through with each new client is often very similar, initially in the early days. So I've now created, with the help of ChatGPT, a template where I just go in and say, I need to do a new proposal. It asks me about the potential new customer, and it will produce a proposal for me based on everything I've told it about the customer. And if I've specified that anything's going to be different to my usual proposal. So that's the kind of thing that ChatGPT and AI generally can help you with. So do think about any repetitive task you're doing in your business. You need to be thinking about outsourcing it, or you need to be thinking about getting AI to help you with it, because it really will boost your productivity dramatically. One more good thing that happened this week, I went out for lunch last Tuesday. A mate of mine rang me up. He lives a little bit further away than, we weren't just sort of pop round the corner for a beer. And he said, so-and-so's coming down, who's another friend of ours. It was Tuesday afternoon. The sun was shining, most unusual, very grey day today. And do you want to come up? So I jumped in the car. I said, I'll be there. I jumped in the car and I went up there and we went out to the pub for lunch. We sat in his glorious garden for the rest of the afternoon. And just one of the things he said to me not only gave me an idea, but it challenged my thinking on something. And I went home and I thought about it overnight, and it shifted something in my outlook, and I took action immediately. Basically, I've got a very active Facebook group, and in 8 years, I've never made one single penny from it. But it's growing at the rate of sort of 50 people a day at the moment. And I thought, I've got to be able to monetize this somehow, or get clients for my main business from. And so what he said was, you should be selling advertising to, he said, do businesses advertise in that group? I said, yes, they do. He said, you should be selling advertising in that group. Even if it's only a tiny, tiny amount, you need to be making some money from it. Otherwise, what's the point? I said, well, I do it for love, really. And he said, well, love's all right, but you can't eat love, can you? So I thought, okay. And the other thing was, he said, at least how many out of those people that are coming to that group, how many of them are British? I said, well, a lot, because a lot of people go to this place that are British. And he said, and how many of those people have got businesses? And I said, well, possibly about 20% of them, 30%. And he said, well, all of those are potential future customers, and you should be capturing them and building a relationship with them over and above the relationship you have in a group with them. So I just went away and I thought, okay, there must be software that helps you. If someone gives you their email address voluntarily to get into the group, there must be then a way of putting them into your customer relationship management and finding out if they're ever likely to need your help in any way, if they've got a business, for example. And so that's what I set up last week, and it's working great. I've put up a rate card, which ChatGPT helped me write, and told me what I needed to have in it. And so I'm now directing all the people who advertise regularly in that group for free and have done for 8 years to a very, very inexpensive advertising rate card. Basically, for the cost of a cup of Nescafe Frappe, which is what everyone drinks in Greece, you can advertise in front and get in front of 5,500 active users. So only fair, I thought. And so that was good. Going to lunch might make me money, which is always good with me. What didn't work? Analytics suddenly told me I wasn't getting any traffic to my website, sparking a complete panic. Now, I'm not very techie with analytics. I've put analytics 4 on my website, which you need to if you haven't. But basically, I don't know really much of the techie side of things. My sister is much better at that than I am. But and also, you can't exclude your own traffic yourself. You can't exclude yourself from analytics 4, which is really bloody annoying. So anyway, I went and found this chap who is helping me with it, and he produced these reports which told me that there's something going wrong with duplicate file names or tags or categories or something. I don't know what I've done. And it's just not the kind of thing that's my skill set. So I'm paying him to help out with that. What didn't work this week? Well, the stock market crashed rather badly, didn't it? The crypto market crashed rather badly. Gold, silver and Bitcoin are coming back strongly. Everybody is wondering what happened. Well, what happened has been the financial crash that everyone's been predicting in the know since 2020. In fact, a lot of people, myself included, think that 2020 was engineered because there was a big financial crash imminent in 2019-20, and they just managed to avoid it by slowing down the velocity of money by locking everybody up in their houses. So it's the Japanese banks that have sparked this one, but everybody knew something was going to spark it. And basically, you need to go and watch Mike Maloney's Hidden Secrets of Money if you don't know what I'm talking about. It's a short video series. It's really very entertaining because it's done in cartoon format with Mike speaking in between. And the other thing you need to do is get yourself a copy of Murray Rothbard's little book. See, tiny. You can read it. You can skip the forward. It's boring. What has government done to our money? This is hang on. I need to put it near my face. 1 second. Hopefully you can see that now. What has government done to our money? Now, if you go to the Mises Institute, MISES, Institute online, they will send you a free copy of this book, or you can download the PDF immediately if you can't wait for the actual paperback. But I would recommend you get the paperback. And I've got several, so I'm going to start giving them away to people. And with it, they've sent me a free copy of How Inflation Destroys Civilization. And hopefully you can see that. And that is a tiny little pamphlet. I mean, I read it in 10 minutes. I mean, I know about inflation. I know what it really is. Theft. But basically, we lived for most of our civilization without any inflation. Inflation only came in when they started printing money. And if you want to know about all of this, just come along and ask me on my website. But you get free copies of the book from the Mises Institute by Murray Rothbard, and it's popularly thought to be one of the best books on what's going on in our financial system for the last 150 odd years. And you really need to clue yourself up quick because there's a big crash coming. Property as well. What else can I tell you? What's changing as a result of what went well and what didn't? I'm doing an organic growth sprint with my business mentor next week. He's extremely dynamic, and he is very he's an ex-fitness instructor, so he really keeps you on your toes. And I'm outsourcing my analytics fixes, and I'm thinking of doing a small Google ad campaign to just let Google know who should be coming to my website. I know pretty much what my key phrase should be, so I'm thinking like $5 a day, see if I can get some traffic, because Google does reward you. My Google search results have improved dramatically since I went to Google Search Console, what used to be known as Webmaster Tools, and sorted all that out. But also they do reward you if you run some ads to your website, even if it's just your own name or your main key phrase. They will reward you by showing you higher in the search results if you're running paid Google ads. I know, it's not great, but there we go. That's how it works. That's how life goes. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I think we're probably about the 10-minute mark, if not a little bit further. So yeah, I'm hoping that this is going to be a once a week thing. I really will try, and I didn't want to let myself down by not doing one last week. So here I am, better late than never, eh? Let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed this, or if you've got any comments for how I run it's my personal accountability system, well, one of them. And if you've got issues with keeping yourself accountable, then do let me know in the comments, and I'll try and make some helpful suggestions for you. If you like any of this, come over to NicolaCairnx.com. And that's not a Freemason sign, by the way. That's just me letting you know it's Cairnx rather than Cairncross. And I'd be delighted to help you in whatever way I can. Speak soon. Bye.
You've been listening to Nicola Cairncross of NicolaCairnx.com. Well, I hope you enjoyed the show today. We've got lots of resources on the website, so do come over to check them out. And by all means, feel free to book yourself into my diary at NicolaCairnx.com/diary. I love to talk to entrepreneurs.